Joining me now to discuss My Open and the deep state cover-up is none other than our friend, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. All right, Senator, thanks for being here. We learned some incredibly damaging information this week. I'll start where I ended off in that open, and that is you had the Director of National Intelligence, Clapper, going on television saying that Trump was a Putin puppet, a Russian asset, under oath, saying he had no evidence of that. Susan Rice saying the same thing, and yet when she was placed under evidence, she said she had no intelligence pointing to that. Samantha Power also out there trashing the president, but under oath saying they had no evidence. What sanction, what is it that you as chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee intend to do to these people?
Well, I think the biggest news is they decided to drop the case against General Flynn. So I want to have an oversight hearing to find out why the Justice Department now believes that General Flynn was unfairly prosecuted, try to figure out why this system failed General Flynn and the country, how it got off the rails. So I'm going to offer General Flynn a chance to come before the country and explain what his life has been like. I'm going to have the DOJ come before the country and explain why they thought General Flynn's prosecution was wrong. I'm going to call Sally Yates and Clapper to talk about their role in all this. I'm going to invite Schiff to come to the Senate. I can't make him come, but to explain his side of the story and tell us why he believes it's all crazy.
The American people are furious.
Yeah.
If you have a hearing, what sanction can you use? What can be done to this?
Well, you know, Durham's looking at criminality. What I can do is have political accountability. I can let General Flynn talk about what his life's been like. I can give the Department of Justice a chance to explain why the case was dismissed so everybody in the country can understand what happened. You know, Barack Obama said dismissing the Flynn case compromises the rule of law. President Obama, you know what compromised the rule of law? Hiding evidence from a court, altering emails, trying to manufacture a crime versus investigating a crime. So my job is to bring oversight to the table, political accountability. Durham's job is to put people in jail who broke the law. But we're going to start with the Flynn case.
He's a prosecutor, but in terms of political accountability, the guy who's got to be made accountable is Adam Schiff, and you can't even force him to testify. And number two, in terms of Bill Barr, the Attorney General, he actually submitted papers that I spent the whole day reading as to why they dismissed the charges based upon these recently disclosed FBI notes. It's all there. Anybody needs to read it. The American people are tired of this. Would you agree with me, Senator, that this whole issue of Russia collusion was something that was drummed up in the highest echelons of the Obama administration, that Obama was in on it, Obama knew what was going on, he knew about it from the counterintelligence, and he knew about it between that meeting with Yates and Comey?
Well, I think Horowitz has told us that the Carter Page warrant was illegally obtained. I think we now know that they withheld information from the court. They doctored emails to make Carter Page look guilty when he's not. What do we know about General Flynn?
Right.
The goal was to get him to lie or get fired. So what do I bring to the table? I give people a chance to talk and speak, not behind closed doors, but out in the open. I want somebody from the Department of Justice to explain why this was a bad prosecution. I want to give General Flynn a chance, if he wants it, to tell the country what life has been like under this system. And I want to call Sally Yates and ask her a lot of questions about the conversation with Barack Obama. I intend to do that.
Okay. Okay, well, let me ask you this. I assume that you have been talking to Bill Barr, the Attorney General, at the very least to discuss, because I would as a prosecutor. Am I going to go forward with my evidence, my case, testimony under oath, or am I going to let the feds go first? Talk to me.
Well, so what's going to happen here is I don't want to get in Durham's way. You make a good point, Judge. What I'm trying to do is the Flynn case is over. At least I hope it will be over by the first week in June. So I can tell you tonight that we're going to have our first hearing the first week in June. It's about the Flynn case, how it got so off the rails, how they manufactured crime rather than investigating a crime. We're going to ask people questions. The real professional FBI agents on January the 4th said there's no evidence that Flynn has been involved with the Russians. But this is when Strzok says, well, the
Absolutely.
people on the 7th floor want to keep it going. So don't you want to hear all that? Don't you want to hear from Sally Yates? Don't you want her under oath and Clapper so we can talk about that meeting in the Oval Office? Durham can't do that kind of stuff. I can.
Senator,
don't you want to hear about the Carter Page
I agree
warrant?
with you. Yeah, but Senator, don't you understand how frustrated the American people are? We had the Benghazi hearings. We know that they lied about that Russia collusion, delusion, and the hoax. People are losing faith in the system. We've got to make sure that people start going to jail. Jim Comey, do you have jurisdiction to subpoena him? Does he have to come? He's not working for the government anymore.
Yeah, well, certainly. I think he's one of the last people you want to talk to. I want to build a file before I talk to him. But the one thing we are is we're a rule of law nation. Even Jim Comey, if he's being investigated by Durham, I can't jump in the middle of his case. My job is oversight to explain to the country how the hell this happened. How is it possible that you could have a 2-year investigation where there's no evidence to begin with to make sure it never happens again?
Exactly. Senator Lindsey Graham, thanks so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate it, and good luck on that.